What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Just got off the water, got the boat all rigged up, got it ready for the road. And as I was sitting here rigging up tackle and getting the boat ready to go, I started thinking about how much fishing has changed in the last couple years, how much fish finders have changed, boats have changed, trolling motors have changed, big motors have changed. And then, of course, with all that change, a significant increase in prices. So I started thinking, is it really worth it? Do you have to have all these fancy gadgets to catch fish? Do you have to have $10,000 to $15,000 worth of electronics, the newest and latest and the greatest trolling motor, the $80,000 boat, the $300 swim bait, $500 rod, whatever the case may be? Is it worth it? Do you have to have it? And the answer to that question is no, you do not have to have it. There's guys out there that are whacking them in a John boat, and guys with basic electronics and old boats are still catching fish. And what it boils down to is the basics. You have to establish your basic skills as an angler before I think it's worth your time investing all your money to get all these fancy gadgets that'll help you. And especially if you're tournament fishing, it'll help you, catch that extra 4 or 5 pounder, or scavenge the day by catching a limit when a lot of people aren't catching limits. All these electronics and fancy gadgets, they can do that. They can help you. They can help you. Emphasis on help you. It's not going to catch fish for you. I run 2 Solix 12s and a Helix 10, side imaging, down imaging, Mega 360. All 3 of those help me catch fish big time. Help me locate fish and help me catch fish. Well, help me get in the area of the fish. It's not going to help me actually catch the fish. I have to do that. I have to use my basic skills as an angler. And so I'm kind of getting off topic from where I was going to go with this video. But so anyway, let's get into the topic on this video. So do you have to have all the fancy graphs and technology to find fish? No, you don't. And this brings me back, we started out in a bass tracker, and then eventually my dad worked his way up to getting his first bass boat, fiberglass boat. It was a 1996 Sprint, and that's what I fished out of for most of the years as I was learning bass fishing. And then when I got into college, he was nice enough to let me borrow it. We went, we didn't have great technology on the boat, but I'll show you this trick that anybody can do. Bank fishermen, kayak fishermen, $100,000 boat fishermen, you can do this. And it's very cheap. I want to say it's $20 a year, but it's the Navionics app on your phone. And it's going to show you contour lines. It's going to show you the layout of the lake. And if you know what you're looking at as far as contour lines, you can literally go in there, set you a waypoint, change your shaded depth and all that to find your desired depth. But you can go in there, set a waypoint, and literally just go out and catch fish just by looking at contour lines. You don't actually have to see them. And this is how I learned to fish offshore, really, because I wasn't great at reading, down imaging and side imaging and stuff. I found my offshore spots just by looking at the contour lines. And then eventually, I got better at reading the side imaging and down imaging and all that. And I use it all the time now and very efficiently. But anyways, this Navionics app. So I'm going to give you a quick little story. We were up at a college tournament at Chickamauga, and it was May. Those fish had just been coming off bed, and there was some offshore. We were fishing out of my dad's boat, the 96 Sprint. It broke down, and so we had to drive back to Alabama the 2 nights before the tournament and grab my partner's granddad's boat. And let me tell you, when I say these graphs were outdated, they were outdated. 4-inch screens, 2D sonar. What do you do when you're fishing offshore in an offshore tournament? So what did I do? I pulled out Navionics on my phone, put it up on the front of the boat right beside the 4-inch screen, and we went from there. I told my buddy we need to be in this area, pinpointed where they were going to be on this offshore ledge, underwater point type deal, and I said there's going to be fish there. And in practice, we went there and just landed on them, caught them. I didn't use live scope. Live scope didn't even exist back then. I didn't use 360. I didn't use down imaging. I didn't use side imaging. I didn't even use 2D sonar. I use strictly contour lines to find these fish. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to dive in just real briefly, show you this app. You can study a map anywhere you're at. You know, if you're at home, if you're at work, if you're on the toilet, whatever the case may be, you know, you got a tournament coming up. Look at the contours, look at the layout of the lake, and especially if it's a lake that you've never been to, this is a great way to learn a lake without being on the lake, and really set you up for success when you get out on the water with a limited time. You know, because most of the time we're limited time on practicing. Most of us, like me, I've got a life, I've got a job, I've got a wife, a kid. I don't have 2 or 3 weeks to practice fish. Some people do, but I don't. Most of the time, one day if I'm lucky. So real briefly, I'm going to show you this app, throw up a screen recording of it, and what I do to break down a body of water. So this is on the main lake. You've got a bunch of points right here. These ditches going into these pockets. You got some shallower points. So I mentioned you can change your shading. And so this is your depth shading. So I'm going to change it to 15 foot. And so now everything that is highlighted blue is going to be 15 foot or less. So you can really key in on those areas. So that's a shallow point. You got it. Comes out to a lot deeper of a point. And then your ditch is going in. This has got a hump right here with this little funnel, you know, going in right here, making a ditch or a saddle on this point. And this is going to be a great area to key in on in the fall time, as the bait fish are going to suck up into these little funnels around these ditches. And, you know, this is along a point. You got your high spot, shallow end of the point, and then your ledge. You know, they could be anywhere on this, especially this time of year. And it sets up good because this is like a staging area to go back into this pocket. And a lot of times your bait fish will be pushed back into these areas in this fall time area. And this little secondary point, that looks very juicy. So this is an area that I would be targeting. But yeah, this is Smith Lake. If you zoom out, I'm not going to show you all my waypoints, but yeah, you can see everything on this lake. And when you buy it, you can get, if I'm not mistaken, you get the whole U.S. and Canada, or just the U.S. So it's very good buy, and a very good tool, especially for tournament anglers when you're limited time trying to find fishing spots. So yeah, I mean, you can that's all you have to do to find spots and to catch fish, especially if you don't have the luxury of having all these nice electronics and stuff to help you find fish easier. So I think the biggest takeaway is, you know, learn your basic skills of an angler. If you don't have the fancy electronics to your access, you know, learn your basic skills of an angler. Learn how fish move and react in different times of years, different scenarios, different conditions. And, you know, learn these contour lines. Learn what type of contours the fish sit on when, you know, when they're on humps, when they're on points, when they're on ledges, when they're in ditches. And if you do this, it's going to make you so much more advanced as an angler. Just especially understanding the basics and then utilizing all this new technology that we have. And I think that's where a lot of these newer anglers are running into issues with, you know, when you're fishing a tournament and practice is totally different, and not before the tournament, you know, cold front or something moves in. These younger guys are probably going to have a tougher time adjusting to this because, you know, a lot of these guys rely on live scope completely. And I'm a firm believer that you need those basic skills as an angler. Is all the fancy electronics worth it? I'll let you answer that. For me, it is, yes. You know, I fish competitively. It's a no-brainer for me, within reason. I'm not going to go out and have 10, 15-inch screens and 12 live scopes. You know, I don't even have live scope on my boat because it's not my style. And plus, I really don't want to spend the money on it. Mega 360 does excellent for me, combined with the side imaging and then, you know, down imaging and 2D sonar. So, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on this. Is it worth it to you? Or what do you think needs to change? You know? So anyways, again, thank you for watching. Make sure you leave this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Drop a comment, what you thought about the video, what you like to see in the future. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.